teachers and really just has been the support and rock for us as we go through problems and the good things. And we just want to thank him with a small token of appreciation from all of us in the Hazel Green family. And we appreciate that you live in the community and that your kids go to our schools, and just thank you for everything you do for us.
Are you going to show off your pennant to Miss Stowe?
She dressed appropriately.
All right. From our Buckhorn community.
Well, Ms. Bates, Mr. Malone and Mr. Hill have decided to do a duet for you tonight of You've Got a Friend in Me, so I'm going to turn it over to them. I'm just kidding. That's what they get when they nominate me for things. You know how much I appreciate you, and you have done a great job for us, and it's nice to have a board member that we can trust to do what's best for kids, and we appreciate that. So thank you from all of us for all you do.
Can I just say that I appreciate y'all appreciating me, but really, it's an honor to serve y'all. My kids attend your schools, and there is nothing more sacred to me than the fact that I know my kids are safe and receiving a high-quality education because of the work y'all do. So thank y'all. Thank you.
All right, from the New Hope, Owens Crossroads, Central, Gurley, Madison County High School family. It's a big family.
Miss Bass actually stole my thunder. I was going to say that Mr. Hughes and Dr. Edmonds had a musical number they were going to do for you, but since they were not in attendance, then it was up to me to show our. Oh, there. Oh, you're there. Are you? Is it? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Now we do as two families, Madison County and New Hope. We just appreciate everything you do. Of course, our school is your old stomping grounds. We love the fact that you swing by and see us, and then go on over to New Hope and see them, and that we can pick up the phone and call you anytime that you're calling us, just checking in, and those kind of things too. So you are part of our community going way back, and we're just very appreciative to all that you do for us.
And I appreciate y'all as well. Thank you. And I will say, Mr. Weeks' children are here, and I don't know about Nancy, but since she's been here before, she really watches what we do up here and has an opinion on it. So that's okay.
I got you something extra.
Okay.
And I wanted on record that I ordered you a small. So, this will work.
Well, I can still get through that crap. Thank y'all so much.
Okay. And Mr. Romine also has a presentation too.
Sorry, I have to bring extras. At the Tech Center, you know, we're kind of sitting out there on an island where we're not really in anyone's board district. But the staff and I think of all of you as our board member. And we want to say thank you to each and every one of you for the support that you've given to the Career Tech Center over the years so that the programs that we offer to our kids there are the best that they can be. So thank you. And I've got a gift for every one of you. Excuse me. I'll come to y'all.
I don't know what to do.
All right. Some informational items before we get rolling with our administrative actions. We had a smooth weather delay, if there is ever a such thing. We had a 3-hour delay based on the forecast came in, and the forecast it kind of stopped on that Tennessee line. But with our principals here, want to take an opportunity for thanking you for making your schools ready to go. For the folks that got out early to get the buses cranked. Kind of the only glitch, and it's amazing it only ended up being a glitch, is Meridianville area lost power, went off the grid. We had our team out there, but to help get them back up and running. But it was the way that, I tell you, when I started a year ago, and we had 6 delays in about a two-week span, we kind of got a little bit better each time, and so the first one in, it was just went really smooth. So appreciate all you guys and getting the notifications out. And we're keeping an eye on the weather tomorrow. We've already sent an email just a little bit ago to our principals canceling after-school activities, daycare, and that kind of thing. I've already heard Ms. Berger's phone call and messages, so our principals are in action, kind of letting their folks know about the after-school activities planned on that, so that we're keeping an eye on the winter weather that's coming in tomorrow. A couple of things today. I attended a panel discussion with our new Senate Education Chair, Senator Arthur Orr. He's coming from the general fund to the education fund. Mary Scott Hunter, our district school board member, was there also, and they talked about education issues and budgets. Senator Orr said he is committed to keeping the education funds in the education side and not moving them over to help the general fund. What they really want to emphasize, and especially Mary Scott mentioned, the fully funding the foundation program. That's lowering the divisors, which means more teachers. Our OCE cost that we need help with. We have local schools that have to do fundraising to just pay their secretarial staffs, things like that. We're so dependent on the state funds on that, and to fully fund the transportation. And tomorrow, I'm going to have the North Alabama superintendents are meeting with about 9 or 10 members of our local delegation, and Representative McCutcheon, I think, is coming tomorrow too. And so we're looking forward to talking about those. Other issues in that are raises, not just for teachers but for all employees. That's kind of what we want. We want it all. And one of the topics that always comes up is in the raise bill. That's kind of the stir, but that bill is still in draft form. It hasn't been filed, so right now it's just kind of it's out there, but it's not anything specific that's even been filed yet. We have on the agenda tonight to approve, and one of the administrative actions, I want to bring it up just because it's a pretty neat deal that we've got going. We're starting student custodial services as a substitute to where we're actually going to have some of our own students that we're working as substitutes. I'll let Mr. Evans kind of chime in on that.
Yes, sir. These are students that are enrolled in our World of Work program where they go out and get practical experiences, and where we have a custodial vacancy or something where we can work them into that, work them 19 hours a week after school. We want to do that. We got to look, and we're sending them out to other people to get work experience. What better work experience to get is with us, so that next year they can get a full-time job with benefits and all that. If we're not training them well enough to work for us, we're certainly not training them well enough to work for anybody else. So this is a great program. We've got 4 on for tonight, and we've got a 5th one. Our principals have bought into it, and they're on board, and I think it's a great thing.
Today also, Mr. Sutherland attended a local education discussion with Redstone Arsenals with in our other colleges and about forming partnerships and programs. They want to help us out and support us, so we're going to be following up with that. On Sunday, our advanced ed review team comes in. We start our accreditation process on that, and we were something we've been gearing up for. From community members to principals, teachers, everybody has had a hand in this. It has been a really incredible process, and Mr. Solly is really kind of heading that up, but everybody has put in so much work, and you can see the nodding of heads about how much work is going in. They're going to be here for 4 or 5 days and be visiting schools and meeting with board members and things, so that is a big deal that's coming in starting this weekend. In other news, we have the reclassification came out yesterday. Sparkman and Buckhorn will remain 7A, are in the same region and even the same area play in basketball and baseball together with the Madison City schools. Hazel Green is now 6A, and they're in the 6A match with other teams west of them. Madison County is 4A, dropped from 5 to 4A, and so their region play has changed, and New Hope is staying at 3A. So you'll see some different football matchups, different basketball matchups coming forward with that. That was something that's very anticipating there. Buckhorn and Hazel Green are always kind of teetering in the small 7A or large 6A. Madison County was kind of teetering there between the 4A and 5A. So we kind of know that now, and they're going to start building their athletic schedules. They're building them. They started yesterday on it. And so that's an exciting time for our athletic program. And that's our updates here. Go at the weekend update. All right, for administrative actions, I recommend approval of the financial statement and payment of bills for November of 2015.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion passes.
I recommend approval of the fiscal year 2016 budget amendment number 1.
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
All right, of the high school academic guide, you guys have that in front of you here. The changes are highlighted in there. I recommend approval of the 2016-17 high school academic guide.
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those.
Thanks for all the hard work. You know that.
Anyone else? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
All right. We are looking at adopting new science textbooks. So there we have a science textbook committee, selection committee in it. So I recommend approval of the following science textbook selection committee.
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Do they no longer require that there be a board member on the selection committee?
Mr. Perkins, I don't think so. Mr. Perkins heading that up. I don't recall seeing that in the.
I think that's fine.
I don't think it does because it comes to you
Yeah.
anyway. I think that's,
Are you volunteering?
You guys are welcome to attend.
Would y'all like one?
I've served on it several times, and I felt sure that must have been a requirement and not something that I just stepped up to do.
Short on pictures. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
All right, we also have a team here from Endeavor Elementary. They've been working hard to put together a plan to improve their playground equipment. They've had, some of their equipment is literally kind of disintegrated, and so they have a very well organized committee, and appreciate you guys on that. Would you guys like to make any comments before I make a recommendation here? Ms. Novak, no comment?
That's the first time I've ever seen Edgar Pallady's not talk.
Because once we get started, we won't stop.
Thank you for your consideration for the proposal. We look forward to getting it done.
It's a pretty detailed proposal. You guys can read through there. So, let's see, where am I? I recommend approval of the construction request for Endeavor Elementary School playground.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion?
I'd like to ask them, well, what school are y'all going to next? This is really good. Thank y'all.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
All right. I recommend approval of the following bids as attached.
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
I recommend approval of the following contracts for services as attached.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. I recommend approval of the contracts for principals Chris Shaw and Amy Mason.
Motion.
Second.
Motion.
Yes. I'll recommend approval of the following contract for Amy Mason.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second for Ms. Mason. All those in favor, any discussion? Apologize. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. I recommend approval of the principal contract for Chris Shaw.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 No.
3-2, motion passes.
I recommend approval of the following personnel items as submitted with the addendum
And the correction.
and the correction.
On motion. I'm sorry. So I'll take the second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
My last one. Very excited, aye.
All right, so in that administrative action, in that personnel item, we have approved April McCutcheon, principal of Buckhorn Middle School. So congratulations. We're incredibly proud of you and know you're going to do great things at Buckhorn Middle School.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Well deserved.
I'm just very excited we've managed to keep you over here because you could have easily gone anywhere, so thank you for staying.
I also want to recognize one of our resignations, and that is Principal Tom Highfield at Meridianville, and he has been a principal for almost 20 years, 19 years, and is over 30 years in Madison County. And he's not here tonight, but just want to give my appreciation and thanks to him. And that is all the recommendations I have, administrative actions for tonight.
So I'm very confused because it's only 5:45, but I guess we can go around the ring and see if anybody has anything they'd like to add to the evening's discussion.
I think we need to write that down in a minute so we.
It's been a while.
That's why I didn't say it real loud.
I think
I'm
that's
a
the
little
work session that's different.
Yes,
It is.
it is.
It always is the work session that makes a difference.
So,
I would like to make some comments on an issue that I've unsuccessfully tried to have brought before this board for public discussion and a vote. And I'm talking about the superintendent's plan for the new Monrovia Area High School. Mr. Massey has sent a plan to the DOJ and the NAACP LDF for their consideration, and I understand that the board has agreed that that could be set forward. But if that plan is approved by the plaintiffs in a desegregation lawsuit, it would then be submitted to the court for approval, and there would not have been any public discussion or vote by this board. And totally disagree with this approach. This blatantly disregards our role as a board, which we are elected to fulfill. An important point also to me is that it appears to disregard the input of the committee of community members that we appointed, we the board appointed, to draw zone lines. And I think that this is misleading to the plaintiffs in the lawsuit. They hear one viewpoint, which could lead them to believe that there is a group consensus supporting the superintendent's plan, and that's not officially true. This board has taken no action on the grade configuration of a high school, and I have asked more than once for this issue to be added to an agenda for a discussion and a vote. At a minimum, the grade configuration should be brought before this board for a vote. I believe that the entire plan for the new school should be presented to the public. Set a time period for public input, have that come before the board, and then ask the board for a vote on the plan. The plan would then be board approved before further submissions or negotiations with the plaintiff attorney takes place, and most certainly needs to occur before the plan is submitted to the judge for approval. Otherwise, this board is put in a position of having a legally binding federal decision handed to us without board input. This board has been elected to make difficult decisions that are in the best interest of the students of Madison County. To allow the superintendent to move forward without requiring a board vote, I believe abdicates our responsibility as members. And to do so without public discussion is not being responsible to the people that have elected us. I once again request that this board set public hearings on the issue of zoning and the grade configuration of the new high school, and that the superintendent recommend and this board vote on a plan for the new high school as quickly as possible. Time is of the essence. I also believe that it is important for the plaintiff's attorneys to hear from our community committee that studied the school and have not had that communication filtered through the superintendent.
I agree with most, if not all, of everything you said. I too have made the same request multiple times for us to have a discussion and even possibly a vote, but at a minimum have a discussion as to what the plan is. They've been unsuccessful in that, obviously, and even to the point of our board attorney advising us not to. So, what is your remedy? What is your suggestion? What do we do?
Well, I believe what I said. Let's have a public discussion of it. Because at this point, what we have is we have the attorneys on the other side of the lawsuit, the LDF and the DOJ. And they're saying this is Madison County's position. But the board hasn't authorized that position. The board has taken no action.
But specific logistics of how we do that.
Logistics, I think the public needs to hear what the plan is. Nothing's been there.
We both made the request for this to be put on the agenda.
Right.
And it has been.
Right.
We don't make the agenda as a board.
So do you remember the public meeting we had at Sparkman High School when we were talking about the site at the point, at that time? Let's have another meeting like that, but let's talk, and if the superintendent's not willing to talk about it, let's talk about what we know the plan is, at least what we've heard of. I just want the opportunity for a public discussion to be held. At this point, it's rumor and innuendo.
I agree.
And we're hiding, I believe we're hiding behind, yes, some of it we can't talk about because it's a lawsuit. And there are legal things that we can't talk about. Got it. But that doesn't mean, we're getting ready to make a $46 million decision. And the public doesn't know what's going on.
I couldn't agree more.
I just, as I said, I don't think, how did I put it? I don't think we're being responsible to the people that elected the 6 of us to do our job.
Are we okay to have this conversation in public?
Yes.
I'll chime in a little bit here. The $46 million decision was made in 2013 on a Saturday. I don't know how many Saturday board meetings we've had in the past, but I believe that board meeting was called with 24-hour notice. And I don't know how much public discussion happened in that 24-hour time, but it doesn't seem like there was a lot. That was in 2013, and I started January 1 of 2015. 2015. And I had, we had a committee of 13, 14 people, of which I picked one. and you guys came and participated in the discussion. And that was part of that discussion. And from that, you know, it's hard, it's going to be difficult to make a decision that everybody agrees on. But to act like there hasn't been public discussion, there was there. I've gone, also had discussions on moving forward through this at Endeavor, at Monrovia, Sparkman Middle, and at Monrovia Middle, taking questions in an open forum on there. I do look forward to presenting this plan publicly. I don't understand, which I'm not a lawyer here, but approving a plan before the plan is even accepted by the plaintiffs, you know, that's why it's not on the, why I didn't feel it needed to be on the agenda. Because guess what? It's probably going to change. This is probably not the end of the discussion with the plaintiffs here. And that discussion needs to happen. The decision to originally send that was in July. All right, and I want to make clear that I've been trying to move forward with this so we can get going with this. You know, the Justice Department, they came and visited our school. They are waiting on us. So believe me, we're ready to move forward with this. But it is, you know, it's more than just we're in a federal lawsuit, and there's going to be more than just a board action on a plan before the plaintiffs even see the plan. So, y'all continue discussion from there. But there was, that $46 million decision was made on a 24-hour notice without any public discussion, besides a few people that got on the agenda.
I don't know what you got here, what you can find there without pointing that out. But we were at the mercy of these bonds and sold. We were one and are one of 13 school systems that were affected by the crack. The urgency was brought about by, we had to take immediate action, or we were going to get left out. That 46 million would have been, I don't remember the exact numbers, Karen's not here, but $20 million less.
46 less.
So, I for one don't apologize for having a Saturday meeting. The urgency was there, and it brought this school system an additional $26 million.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it shouldn't have happened. But to criticize on public input when the effort has been made of me going into the community, into the schools, to seek that input, to meet in front of a committee is, you know, not want to say pot, meat, and kettle here, but, I mean, we're not trying to hide from this public. We're ready to move forward and talk about this. I'm ready to, I would love to present this as an informational item. I don't mind doing that. I do want to present it in a very comprehensive way. This is a very complicated thing, but if it's not going to, you know, we need to present what we're moving, what is being presented to the plaintiff side, and they have to accept it. If they don't accept it, we go back to the drawing board. And then when the judge accepts it, just in reference, the plaintiffs and the city of Huntsville came to agreement twice, and the federal judge twice rejected it, and they went back to the drawing board. So, you know, this is, you know, this process just is more than just, hey, let's vote on it before it even gets to the plaintiff thing. So that's, but there has been public input in this.
What would happen if they approved what you sent in, and then it was rejected by the board? What would we do then?
Yeah, we'd have to come up with another plan. They would agree with it.
Then we'd have to go back to them.
Yeah.
Which is why I would rather have a board vote. Whatever the outcome is, what I'm seeking is a publicly known, board-approved position for the school system. I'm not arguing a position that has been presented to the LDF and the DOJ. What I'm asking is that we, the board and the superintendent, work to come up with a school system position officially, which we haven't done. I mean, we do contingent things all the
It's not a
time.
problem, I'm just, if you go to.
But it presents a consolidated position. Even if the board votes 3-2, at that point, it's a consolidated position. It's a known board, it's a known school system plan.
This
We
argument
don't
should have
have
been made in July when we sent it off.
I've made this argument several times, Mr. Superintendent.
This discussion should have happened in July. I mean, we're in July, and now we need,
Advised in July by our attorney not to.
that's,
I'm done.
okay.
Well, my point seems kind of silly now, but today I also went to a thing about education, and I wanted y'all to know that Elizabeth Fleming, who heads the school foundation, has an agreement with the Huntsville Utilities to round up. I don't know if any of you guys have heard about this before, but when it originally started, I think there were some glitches in the software for Huntsville Utilities to be able to do this effectively. My understanding it has been fixed now, and her point was that if half of the Huntsville utility users were to sign up to Roundup, which means they would just round your utility bill up to the next dollar, then the school system, the school foundation, would make about $500,000 a year to be able to distribute to the schools, the 3 school systems that they represent. So if you guys have any questions or want to try to make that maybe perhaps part of one of your fundraisers, since we have just about every principal here this evening, I'll be happy to get that information for you, or you can directly contact Elizabeth Fleming if you already have a relationship with her.
And it's really unnoticeable. I've done it for years, and you just don't know it. You just know you're making your payment for an even dollar amount. And in some months, it's 21 cents, and some months, it's 93 cents, and you don't know. You don't notice it, but it makes a difference.
It wouldn't even cost you less than $12. That would be the most.
Yeah,
You know,
by definition, it's less than a Domino's pizza.
But I think it would be great if, just to raise awareness, like, at basketball games and things, if you had those forms there, your people could just pick them up and fill them out. The Schools Foundation does principal speaking, we've got principals here, administrators. I think it's been great professional development that hasn't cost us anything, because we don't have any money for that. So, that's huge, and it's just a little something that everybody can do. It's not a tax.
Is that pointed?
I didn't mean make it something. Not a tax.
All right, is there any further discussion?
I'd like to quickly go on record as thanking, much like Mr. Massey did, Tom Highfield, his career that he's had in the school system. He's impacted a lot of kids and been around for a while. And I'll track him down and tell him personally that I just want to publicly acknowledge his career and say thank you.
Y'all remember the 1st of February, next door. ASB.
ASB meeting. We're hosting.
And I was going to say, the letter they sent out did not have the address. What we got by email did, but that letter dated didn't. It
Really?
just said,
That's 'cause he wrote it.
The career.
No, I didn't.
The Career Academy, Huntsville, Alabama. And I'm afraid because we've met so many times
Yeah.
in Huntsville, that might be.
They'll go to the
I'll
text
get
center on
them,
direct.
I'll get them to send another one out. I haven't noticed. I usually get 2 for some reason.
Are we doing the same thing, culinary?
Yeah.
Culinary
Hazel
group
Green,
is-
Hazel Green's gonna do it. This
Cool.
Hazel Green's going to
Hazel
provide
Green
the meal.
Culinary Department.
Okay, but we're not going to Hazel Green?
No, we're going right over here.
Okay, that's what I thought, but
Yeah. They're the ones, they're coming to us.
We know, but I'm just afraid the other schools. that-
Yeah, I'll call them tomorrow. I've got to call them anyway, so. We'll do that.
And speaking of Hazel Green, we'd like to point out their girls' team is ranked #1 in the state at this point, so.
girls.
They're girls basketball.
Cheerleading?
Basketball. We just said girls team. That's what I was like.
Good. Well, there's one sport going on right now, basketball, so, yeah. So, good for them.
Fencing.
We actually have all 5 high schools. Hazel Green was number 1, Buckhorn was 4, Sparkman was 5, and girls 7. And then Madison County girls were 6 or 7. 5A.
And New Hope girls were 8
Boys
or
were
7.
6th and 1A. So,
The New Hope boys,
New Hope
probably
boys.
right.
Boys,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Good.
Pretty decent showing. Yeah, each school has at least one in top 10.
Boys or girls?
One?
Pretty good showing.
All right, well, not to push it, but we could have a
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Those down there.